Hello and welcome to the RN show. Familiar faces are joining me today, Jake and Josh. How are we, guys?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, mate. How about yourself?
I'm good. How are you, Jake?
Yeah, wonderful, mate. Thanks.
Good. So, yeah, first of all, but Jakey, how are you feeling, mate? Obviously, you got hit by the world of COVID.
I'm absolutely fine. Yeah, I think I put on a bit of weight, which is the problem. But I wish I hadn't. But there we are. And then we've got Christmas coming up in like 10 days. So yeah, that's going to be even worse. But yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
What about your family? I know you said that they were down with it as well. Are they all good?
Yeah, all pretty much fine. Yeah, thank you.
To hear. No face, Josh. What's going on? Have you started your new role now in work?
Yeah, kind of. I'm in like an 8-week like interim job to like upskill for my new one. So start the new one end of January probably. So yeah, it means now my days off are actually days off. So I don't finish at 7 a.m. and have to sleep. I actually get my full days off, which is nice, which means I can do a bit more, see the family more. Put my Christmas tree up yesterday. I know it's a bit late, but yeah, it's not bad. How about yourself? How's Rhea and the baby?
Yeah, all good, mate. Shit, we tried to have a 4D scan. Well, I say we did have a 4D scan last Wednesday, but she didn't want to play ball. We literally seen an eye, her nose. She was covering her mouth like this for the whole scan, and then when she wasn't doing that, she was hiding behind the placenta, ready for a sneak attack. So yeah, but no, she's all good anyway. Ree's all good, and the baby's where she should be. So yeah, 6 more weeks now. Madness. So, yeah, might have a special guest on the show when we do it later on next year, boys.
Can't wait.
Obviously, you should be kitted out though. Some kind of Adam Cole shirt or a Kansas City Chiefs top. Who knows?
It'll literally be Adam Cole, baby.
Baby, yeah. I might shout out him on Twitter and say, can you please say when obviously she's born so everyone knows the name and stuff, blah, 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 baby. And then just have a picture of her doing this.
If your baby can put her arms up like that after like a week.
Well, we get some strings on the ceiling, just sort of holding their hands up. Who knows? Fine. Use a social worker, it's fine. So, so all to look forward to there. What are your plans for Christmas then, boys? You mentioned it. Are you going back to your parents, Jakey?
Yeah, I think Christmas Day I'm going to my mum and dad's, and then they're coming down ours then for Boxing Day, which usually is what happens. Yeah, so it's gonna be a fun 2 days, I think. Like I said, what people usually do, drink into. Well, I'm not going to drink that much actually. I'm going to get myself a bottle of Baileys, I think, with a bit of ice, and I'm just going to chill, to be honest. Because after Saturday just gone, I don't want to drink again. So yeah.
not getting a few Steve Weisers for Christmas then.
I'm not even. I'm just going to do Baileys, mate, and that's it. I'm not going to do anything else. Nothing else.
Why not? Bit of Baileys and cream. What about you, Josh? You heading back home for it?
Yeah, so I'm working till midnight Christmas Eve, and then head back Christmas Day, see the family. Then Boxing Day, we're having like a bigger sort of like family get together. But then I'm working Boxing Day night, so no drinking for me on either day. So I've got to be in work for 10 p.m. on Boxing Day. But then I've got the 27th and 28th off, so I'm sure I'll pop to the pub and have one or two.
No way, mate. You have to be rushing home from work to make sure you're tucked up in bed before Santa comes, mate.
I know. I think I might have to, do a couple of laps around waiting for Santa in between if he's coming around midnight. So I'll just be out driving around for a while and then get into bed, and hopefully Santa will have been. But I'll leave his milk and mince pies, so don't worry.
As long as he's got Rafa's present, mate, that's the main thing, isn't it?
That's very true.
Have you got your 2 dogs, Jake? Getting them anything special for Christmas?
I think, yeah, I think it just they need new toys like really badly, so I just bought them like like one of those multi-pack of dog toys really, from big bag of dog toys. So it should last them a while, I hope. And I think my sister's bought them the odd bits and pieces. So, and I'm assuming my parents have bought them treats and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, they're not going to go without. My tortoise is probably I don't really know. I always get them things like sort of throughout the year, so it's not going to be special, I guess, but we'll see.
That will be spoiled, I'm sure, mate. That's the main thing. Jakey, what did you think before we get on to the wrestling? What do you think of F1 on the weekend?
I gotta be honest. I let everyone down. I have yet to see it. I thought, Jake, you're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch it. And then it didn't happen for whatever reason. So yeah, it was absolutely madness. I think. Like still waiting on the appeal of Mercedes at the moment. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I am looking forward to seeing it, and hopefully I can catch it, later today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I heard it was chaotic.
Yeah, just everything that the season's been. Or yeah, do you watch it, Josh? I'm not sure if you watch it. Do you, mate?
No, admittedly, I'm not an F1 fan. My dad's a big fan. He likes his motorsport, but yeah, obviously I've heard about what's gone on. But yeah, it's not something I massively get into. I don't know. There's so many people going, "Oh yeah, I watched it this weekend," and it's like, but you've never watched a race in your life before, which is good for the sport because they're getting good views. But at the same time, it's just a bit of a fad, isn't it? With some people, like when the Euros were on and Wales did really well, like people who've never watched a football game in their life are watching it, and you're a bit like, you don't watch football, but never mind. It's good for the sport, good for viewing figures, and if the sport can get a wider audience, then that's great for the sport, great for the people involved. So
Yeah,
all good.
I agree, mate. There's loads of people I know who've watched it this year just because of how good the battle's been between the two. Where usually they're not interested at all. But yeah, it was a crazy race Sunday, Jakey. So yeah, definitely get around to watching the highlights at least, mate, because it was quite funny at the end. So yeah, we'll have to see. All right then, boys. Let's have a little chat about what's happening in the wrestling world. Then I don't think we could start anywhere else. Going back a bit to obviously War Games that just passed. Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly's last matches in NXT. Joshy, what do you think, mate? Did you manage to get around to seeing his intro, which I asked you to do?
I did indeed. It was, very emotional, especially his ring gear as well. In playing the old Rebel Heart theme, having his ring gear, which is obviously got all of his, his highlights because he was always famous for his takeover ring gear based on mostly Marvel and things like that. So having the mashup of all of the old ring gears was pretty cool. Some nice throwbacks to, some great matches, some great feuds. So yesterday on Twitter, he did his first ever Twitch stream because obviously you're not allowed to do that when you're in WWE. But that's a thing he's now doing. So I'd imagine he'll probably be jumping on that with Adam Cole. Because I know Adam Cole's a massive Twitch streamer, and obviously they're great mates from their time in NXT. So I can see Gargano having a bit of time off from wrestling. Obviously, Candice LeRae's due for them to have their little baby boy pretty soon. So that their baby could be best mates with yours, similar age, just a few thousand miles apart. But I'm sure we'll get over that. But yeah, so I think he'll probably have some time off, and then who's not going to want Johnny Gargano in their promotion? Kyle O'Reilly as well, brilliant talent. I think the last year since that match against Finn Balor, he's really sort of come out of himself as a singles performer. Probably he's gone the furthest since the breakdown of the UE. Obviously, Roderick Strong, cruiserweight champion with the Diamond Mine and stuff, but he's sort of just gone back into a stable, but as the leader this time rather than as one of the members. But Kyle O'Reilly's really expanded his repertoire, expanded his character, had some great singles matches that aren't just UE matches. So yeah, I can see him going to AEW. He's a brilliant talent. Obviously, Bobby Fish and Adam Cole are over there. And I know we were talking the other day, obviously not on the show, about how it'd be great if, you know, when Kenny Omega comes back from his shoulder surgery, he comes back, takes over the Young Bucks again, which Adam Cole's sort of doing at the moment, and we have an undisputed era in whatever guys they're going to be versus, you know, the elite or the super elite or whatever we want to call them. And that could be a good way of turning the elite back babyface. Obviously, Omega being away for so long, or however long he's away for, he will be cheered when he comes back. The Bucks are just too good not to be cheered. They still get cheered even as they're massive dickheads. So, you know, that could be a good way of having, you know, a heel undisputed era, turning the Bucks and Omega back babyface. But, you know, that's probably going to be a few months down the line yet. But no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I think Ciampa's really the only one left out of the old guard. And, you know, once he loses to Bron Breakker, which I see happening, you know, relatively soon, how long is he going to be staying in NXT for? Maybe we could have a reformation of DIY out on the indies again. But yeah, War Games was great. Obviously showcasing some new talent. But yeah, I do think the days are numbered for the old guard. I think they'll probably all be leaving or going up to the main roster pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely, mate. It's been, like I say, a quick change in the guard really since they brought in 2.0. But I agree. I thought War Games was good. Standout for me was Fabian Eichner for Imperium, and that tag match was insane. It was probably better than both the War Games matches, and you know that not very often you see that on a pay-per-view like that. But yeah, I think that Imperium really need to get that big push now. If not in NXT, then up on the main roster. And as we know, the Royal Rumble's coming up, so if Mr. Walter does make an appearance, then maybe they can go up there with him. But we'll have to see on that, because I know what you said previously on a other show about him being happy in Europe. Move away from NXT then, Jakey. Obviously, we talked about it on the chat a bit. Jeff Hardy gone, just really randomly. There's been stuff on Twitter recently with him and Matt, and obviously his wife has been on there as well, saying he's absolutely fine. So, what do we make of it? You know, is it a case that he is fine and WWE just need an excuse to let him go?
I'm not sure. I think he just needs quite a lot of privacy at this point. And then obviously, like Matt said, I think it was the other day, he'll all come out in the wash. You know, I think people speculating over, you know, what happened at the house show or whatever. I think is really silly. Just in my opinion, just let him get on with it. You know, if he's happy, he's fine. You know, if he's happy, then that's great. Obviously, he needs his family and his friends right now, however the case may be. Again, we hope it's nothing to do with drink or drugs. I mean, you know, we've seen the video that he had some stomach pain, so maybe, you know, I'm not too sure what that could be. But I'm not a GP, unfortunately. But yeah, to be honest, I'm glad he's out of there in a way. It'd be pretty scummy if WWE had sort of treated him like that and just booted him off with no real reason. Because he was one of the main draws for the shows he was in. Obviously, he's had a very career since the 90s. So, and he's also, like, he's had a lot of memorable moments other than the past, I don't know, 1 to 2 years where he's been absolutely shafted by the company, including that awful 24/7 title chase, the US title chase where he got squashed. So yeah, I can understand, you know, maybe he requested his release, and that's most likely a good thing for him, to just move on and yeah, just to move on and try and take enjoyment maybe out of other companies, or just, you know, do what the old timers are doing and do podcasts, or maybe Twitch stream, or something like that, because I'm sure he'll be supported wherever he goes. Just don't turn to drinking drugs, obviously.
Yeah, what do you think, Josh? Obviously, we was on the Broken Skulls just a couple of weeks ago with Austin teasing his new character and stuff like this. So it seems a bit, it's just a strange one now, and especially because, like I say, I seen something on Twitter yesterday of him and Matt, and he, didn't look any different.
Yeah, I don't think WWE have actually officially confirmed his release yet, which is a bit of a mad one. There's nothing on the website, nothing like that. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange one because it's sort of out there in the internet sphere, but then it's not been confirmed by the actual employers or Jeff himself. Really, everyone's just saying he's fine, but no one's actually said he's officially gone. So yeah, it is strange timing, obviously, considering if you go on Broken Skulls, it's either because you're a legend, you're in the middle of a big push, or you're going to get a big push. And obviously Jeff falls into that legend category, but still be an active member of the roster. It's a strange time to have it if he's not going to go anywhere. And why tease the Willow character if then you don't do it? So I think, the thing with Jeff is he said on the Broken Skull that he's always been his worst enemy. But like Jake said, he'll get snapped up by, AEW, Impact, Twitch streaming, podcasting, whatever he wants to do. He'll be snapped up ASAP with that. And I think, WWE have been known to support their superstars. They've obviously, it's rumored that they're paying for Moxley's rehab at the moment, even though he's part of AEW. They're still footing the bill reportedly for Moxley's rehab. And it seems to be that Jeff may have refused rehab, but obviously, like we said, at the minute, he's looking healthy, he's looking good. You've seen on Broken Skulls, he's got his wife, he's got his little one, so he doesn't want to be, treading that path. So, the house show incident was odd. What's more odd, I think, is that the Bloodline are losing at house shows to random mix-ups of teams. What was it? McIntyre, Hardy, and who was the third? Yeah, I want to say
like randomly Woods. I don't know. Who would it be?
Yeah, hopefully it might have been Woods. Yeah, I don't know. But either way, Jeff's an amazing performer. He's always got those moments, like they were saying on the Broken Skull, him coming back at WrestleMania 33. That literally was genuine. I think the last wrestling moment that actually made me feel something genuinely. I remember I was watching it in my uni house and it came on and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So, Jeff's always been, the favorite probably out of Matt and Jeff for me anyway. Even though when I first started watching wrestling, it was the Matt Hardy versus Edge feud over Lita. So I was exposed to Matt before I was exposed to Jeff. But no, as long as he's happy and healthy, whether he's in WWE, whether he's not, he's a surefire Hall of Famer. And if he wants to go and do some cool stuff in AEW, if he wants to hang up the boots, whatever he wants to do, focus on his art or his music, like he's been talking about, full power to him. As long as he's happy and healthy, and him and his family are well, then that's the main thing. Because like Jake said, he wasn't being particularly well used on WWE at the moment. He wasn't being particularly well utilized. So, would I rather my last memory of him being an AEW memory and him, being the old Jeff Hardy, or him, jobbing out to people on WWE? So, like I said, as long as he's happy and healthy, then crack on, full power to him.
Well, like just a random twist. What if, like you said, you mentioned on our chat about the Willow character and stuff, what if that is WWE's way of getting Willow into it? Like he goes off in the crowd, Jeff Hardy is gone, comes back as Willow in a few weeks, maybe at the Rumble or something, and that's why it's all been hush-hush. It'd be a bit weird that they've all had to go onto Twitter to kind of say Jeff's okay, but especially his wife. But that could be an amazing turn if he just came back as well, and it was the death of Jeff Hardy and the rebirth of him.
I was going to say WWE don't normally, think that much into things, but I'd be very happy if that was the case.
We'll have to see. Rumble isn't far away, but before we get to the Rumble, good segue there. We've got day one on New Year's Day. I'm not sure if any of us can actually be watching it live, it being on New Year's Day, but some big stuff already put up. We've got obviously the Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar that we've been expecting for a while. The Fatal 4-Way on Monday Night Raw with Rollins, Owens, and Lashley challenging Big E. We've got the Usos versus the New Day, one of the the all-time great rivalries in the tag division, and Becky and Liv. So, are we looking at the card at the moment? What do you think of the card at the moment, Jakey? Are you excited for it or a bit meh?
Oh, with WWE, I've always been meh for a while, to be honest. I don't see, anything as much interest in, you hear all the time that their ratings are plummeting and everything else. So, I mean, it's interesting to find out that they're doing a New Year's Day show, actually. It'd actually be nice to watch something like that and hope that it's pretty decent. I just want the storylines to be interesting, and that's that. I think those are the sort of the reasons why I haven't been watching wrestling as much as I have. It's just the storylines have been so drab and tedious. To it just shows how much of a fan of old wrestling I sort of am. It's just lack of ideas, lack of interest on both sides, not just WWE but AEW. I find hard to follow. I think, but yeah, I think it should be interesting, but it's never gonna top the ones of the past. But they can give it a go. But I just would, I just don't want to see Brock win it again, and Paul Heyman go back to Brock, and yeah, it's just because SmackDown needs the bloodline more than it knows, for ratings and for everything else. So I think to keep that going for into the new year, maybe into February or whatever, would be good, or into WrestleMania. I think that would be the best option.
What do you think, Josh? Obviously, like you say, it's strange to have a pay-per-view that close to the Rumble, I suppose. But do you see any title changes? Do you think Brock will win it here, or do you think, like Jakey said, it's more of a WrestleMania moment for Roman to lose the gold than that?
Yeah, I can't see Brock winning it here, but I also can't see Brock, even if he does, going back with Heyman. I think Brock's developed this new character. Like, we're seeing him talk on the mic more. He's changed his gear up. He's changed his look. He's being funny. The stuff going on with Sami Zayn. And I think, this is the first time he's ever been like a full-on babyface in his own right. And he's doing his own talking. He's doing his own promos. He's doing his own character work. And I think, it's refreshing to see. But Brock, in that guise, for me, doesn't need a title. He doesn't need a title to, pursue that character. It won't. If Brock loses, it won't hurt Brock, because nothing can hurt Brock. And if Reigns loses, it hurts him massively. So obviously he was facing, the Beast incarnate, the Beast, all of that, serious Brock, and then he loses to sort of jokey Brock. But I don't see him losing personally, but I can see, because Brock goes where he wants, I can see him popping up on Raw, maybe facing Lashley, which is a match that we all want to see, heading into Mania. Maybe they have a square off in the Rumble. They both eliminate each other. That'd be an amazing match to see. Both have got genuine amateur wrestling backgrounds, genuine MMA backgrounds. Both. Lashley's doing the best work of his career, and he came back in 2017 saying, I want to face Brock. So for me, that's what I want to see coming out of, day one, the Rumble, heading into Mania. I do worry a little bit for Big E, it being a fatal four-way. That obviously he can lose his title without having any sort of interaction with it. But I can't see KO winning the title. I can see them putting him in the match, because he's apparently meant to be, his contract's reportedly up in February. So putting him in to keep him sweet, getting him to re-sign. Lashley, like I say, doing some of the best work of his career, so I can see why he's in there. And the only person I can realistically see taking the title from Big E, whether it be now at WrestleMania, SummerSlam, whatever it is Rollins. I think, Rollins is doing some of his best character work. He's always great in the ring. He's mixed it up from his Messiah persona, where he, where he said purposefully that he's like letting his body go and things like that, because he was, that cowardly heel. But now, he's back in amazing shape. He's amazing in the ring. He's amazing on Twitter, despite the odd, up and down the last couple of years, if we think about Will Ospreay and things like that. But no, I think the only person I can see taking that title from Big E is Seth. But do we want Seth to win the Rumble? Because he's sort of been there, done that. But we'll see. You know, everyone wants the Rock Roman Reigns heading to Mania. But then again, I don't see the Rock beating Roman at Mania. You know, I see it very much being a solidifying moment for Reigns. But then again, who's going to beat him? So yeah, it's a difficult one. The one I worry for is Liv Morgan, because probably when she loses to Becky again, what's she going to do in the women's division? Like, she's not got a tag partner. She'll sort of just go back to the bottom of the heap. You know, probably one above Dana Brooke as the 24/7 champion. But, you know, where's she going to go when she loses to Becky? So for me, well, having Becky and Charlotte as the champions, they're sort of infallible, aren't they? They're only really going to get beaten by either Banks, Bayley when she comes back, or Ronda Rousey. So for everyone else in the women's division, it's a bit of a shame. You know, if someone else had that title, if Bayley or Sasha had the title, or Alexa Bliss or whatever, you know, you'd feel more that they may lose to other female superstars. But if, you know, Becky Lynch and Charlotte have hold of it, I don't really see anyone beating them, unfortunately.
Yeah, you could argue maybe Bianca's the only one, isn't she? You could probably beat them as well, but yeah, maybe, mate. And obviously your man, The Miz versus Edge as well, so that'll be a good one for you, mate. Two of your favourites battling off, so should be a good one when that comes around as well. We have to see. On the other side of things, then we've got obviously Winter's coming tonight. Danielson versus Hangman Page. Josh, I'll start with you on it, mate. Do you see the title changing or too early? You know how AEW like a long title reign?
No, it's definitely too early. Obviously, Daniel Bryan playing the heel. I haven't seen too much of it, so I'm not sure if he's coming out the heel tunnel in his entrance.
I don't think he is still, mate, no.
Because, you know, that's when you know they're a proper heel, when they come out the heel tunnel. But that's the thing with Bryan, is he can change his character up so much and no one cares. It's Daniel Bryan. He can do what he wants. But no, I see, you know, him putting over the younger guy, because he says himself he's coming up towards the end of his career. Putting over the younger guy in Hangman Page, it being an amazing match, brilliant match. And then I see him coming out maybe next week, cutting a promo, going back more to his babyface roots. Of, look, you know, it was a great match. I did everything I could to beat him, but, you know, Page has beaten me, because there's no way you can have like the build of Page was since AEW was, you know, founded. You can't have an over 2-year build to lose it on his first defense. So no, I see Page holding it for, you know, a good year. Give all the young heels a chance to go up against him, as, you know, all the baby faces got to go up against Omega.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, mate. You think the same, Jake? Think a Hangman win?
Yeah, I don't see it going any other way, to be honest. I think apparently he hasn't wrestled for a month. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Like, he hasn't wrestled anyone else, just in like normal singular matches. I think he was annoyed about that, which is a bit strange, because usually you see, you know, people in AEW or whatever, you know, at least wrestling, you know, twice before a big fight. That's the point in the whole build-up, really, is them fighting. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I understand that it's a big thing to have it just on a regular Wednesday show, but you would have thought they'd have some kind of like build-up physically, rather than just a war of words. Do you know what I mean? Name calling or whatever it is.
They've gone down the route of him taking out every member of the Dark Order, haven't they? That's what they've done with it. So he's been
I suppose so, but the guy just still deserves a match, because of obviously you got ring rust then being a sort of a problem. I know it's only a month, but you know what happens if they have a really good match, and you know Hangman Page tweaks something or gets injured. You know, it's on AEW's head then. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. It's a bit of a risk, but I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think you're both right in the essence that it's going to be a fabulous match. You know, it's never a bad Bryan Danielson match, but yeah, Hangman's brilliant as well. So yeah, looking forward to it. I have to see what happens and where it leads to. You know, to the Battle of the Belts, which is coming up next month. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. A little bit on you boys a bit worried. I'll go away from wrestling now. You a bit worried about the season? Liverpool obviously doing well, Champions League and and in the Premier League, but with all Omicron now, it's a bit of jeopardy.
Yeah, I think people don't want another lockdown. Of course, nobody's going to listen to the government now after all these parties and stuff that's been going on. Apparently, they can't prove, but yeah, we all know they did it. I think.
You were in there, Jake?
What's that?
Thought you were
At the
there.
party?
Thought you were at the party, mate.
No, I wasn't. I was busy. I was hanging around with at the new Netflix premiere with The Rock and all them. So no, I think they should just keep every game behind closed doors again. I think is a big call, but instead of announcing the lockdown, I know like the Premier League had turned around and said, "Oh, we want every member of staff, every player tested every single day, lateral flow." I think that's a total waste of money. I understand the whole thing with PCR tests and stuff. Or they could just make the players and the staff pay for it, to be fair, if they are going to do it, because they've got an unroyally amount of money they're getting paid at the moment. So, but yeah, I think they should keep every game behind closed doors until we sort of iron these the Omicron problems, or at least get COVID back down again. Which obviously means more money for the broadcasters, but which everyone doesn't like. But I think that's probably the best thing to do.
Do you agree with him, Josh? You happy to see Jordan Henderson again lifting a trophy in front of Noah?
Well, no, I'd rather not see him lift it in front of no one. But for me, I'm a bit of a glass half full kind of guy. I think the thing I'm more worried about with Liverpool this season is Africa Cup of Nations coming up. Because I think with the COVID thing, obviously through the peak of proper COVID, they were still playing. I think it's one of the best title races for ages, because obviously we've got Chelsea, Liverpool, and City all doing really, really well. I think there's like 1 or 2 points in it. I think City are 4 points ahead of the top, but Liverpool have got a game in hand, and that game's against Newcastle, so I'd like to think they'd be winning that. So City 1 point ahead going into Christmas. I think we'd all be happy with that. Chelsea have dropped off a little bit the last couple of weeks, but still they've conceded 6 goals in the whole season. Or in the last 12 matches, 12 goals in the whole season, something silly like that. And Liverpool have scored in the last 31 games in a row. So, not bad. But I'm a bit more scared for the Africa Cup of Nations. Obviously, Chelsea have got a couple of, African players, but, Mahrez plays for City, but then obviously we've got both Mane and Salah. So 2 of our, dynamic front 3 might be going for, a month or so, and especially if they have to, isolate when they come back, things like that. So I'm a little bit more worried about that, as I'd rather maybe the Africa Cup of Nations not happen and Liverpool have their best players, but we'll see.
Yeah, don't forget Keita and Matip as well. They'll be gone, mate. Loads of players out of your team.
That's true. I'm more worried about Salah, but
well, you might, they might include his goals. The goals he scores for Egypt count for Liverpool. There you go. You'd be happy with that. But yeah, whether that goes ahead with everything going on, mate, you just don't know with you. So it's going to be a strange one. But like you said, great season. Man City smashing Leeds yesterday as well, so that was funny. But yes, well, our time is up, guys. I can see our clock ticking, so I'll bring it to a close. Thank you both for joining me. I hope our viewers have enjoyed the second episode of the new show. Find us obviously on Twitter, and then have a look for the video on YouTube. So until next time, guys, I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.